How the heck are everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 100 on our grind for glory. We did it. This is hopefully our grand finale. Today, on day 100, we are going to go through everything on my account throughout this series and do a proper review. So we'll go through each piece of content, we'll go through all my gear, all my heroes, I'll give all my thoughts. This is going to be as comprehensive as it possibly can be. We do have to quickly do one thing, achievement, sign in for 100 days, 100 straight days. We did that. So I'm going to hop off the video right now. You'll see me in a little while. I'm about to hop on stream where I'm going to do a marathon stream. It'll be like at least 6 hours, who knows, maybe 8 or 10 hours. And I'm going to try to max out as much content as I possibly can before the day ends. You see, I have 16 hours and 22 minutes. So see you shortly. Let's hop on in.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Alrighty guys, good to see you in the light of day. That stream was definitely far longer than I had optimistically anticipated. It was not the 6 or maybe 8 hours I thought. It was about 12 hours, but we really did, I think, max out all the PvE content we could. Let me actually pull up an image for you guys right now. I just made this in Google Sheets just so you have a visual to look at. Let me give you the lay of the land here and then let's hop in. I'm excited to show you guys everything. I think I'm gonna format this video quite similarly to how MaBucket did his day 85 account showcase. There's nothing so novel about doing an account showcase as a creator, but I really enjoyed the way MaBucket did it. He's also a creator I really like, really respect, and he's a person that I think I'm pretty lucky to call a friend. So great way to shout him out here. I will have the link to his day 85 showcase in the description. We basically accomplished the same thing, but he did it 15 days faster because he's just that good. So without further ado, let me pull up my agenda and let me take you guys through this. So I think no better place to start than our roster. So in the roster, we'll break it down, I think, into 3 parts. I'm gonna go through the heroes, who we've pulled, who was the best pulls, worst pulls, who we have dupes of, who are good awakenings, bad awakenings. Then we'll go through our gear, try to be pretty quick about that. Kind of hard to give you guys a proper sense of all the gear on the account, maybe some of our best builds. And then we'll go through artifacts, which is something very fresh on my mind because we just finished an AMR tournament, and boy was it a doozy. So let's take a peek here. You can see I'm sorted by rarity. And we have a nice handful of legendary heroes. I actually haven't counted, so let's see, that's 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. We have 24 different unique legendary heroes in 100 days of playing, and I guess that is a great moment to talk about how much accepting the content creator rewards completely changed my account. I did that right about the day 50 mark. It was like day 48, day 49, so right about the halfway point to where we are now. And I had some pretty great luck up until then with like Arrogance and Comet and Morgan. But we had some normal luck, you know, Nyx. Who else did we have at that point? Ezreal, we had one of our Ezreal copies, we had one of our Regulus copies, we had a Nocturne. We were doing okay, right? But everything kind of, also we had Lasir, everything really changed once we got the diamonds. And I want to start off by saying that I am technically a free-to-play player, but I would never claim that branding because I have gotten nearly 70,000 diamonds through content creator rewards in the past 51 or 52 days. And that truly makes a colossal difference. I do want to say it's not the same as them just handing me thousands of dollars, right? Because I would not spend them on diamonds. That's one of the most inefficient purchases you can make in the game. However, it's insanely useful in terms of summoning. I would never summon at the frequency you've seen me summon. I have yet to miss a weekend since I started playing this game, hence the 24 unique legendary heroes. We'll go through dupes in a second. And then also, you know, I've really been making a focus the past 2 weeks now that I was seeing like kind of a finish line with day 100 and I wanted to accomplish as much as possible. I've done a ton of gear farming and I just put up 69,000 points in AMR, which to a couple of you might not sound like that much, but that's a lot, guys. I did like 27,000 stamina. Actually, I think maybe closer to 30 stamina. I did an extra 370 runs before bed last night just to make sure I could win my tournament. Anyway, we're talking about roster now. So my best dupes. Not so many like mind-blowing dupes, I will say that, and dupes and awakenings are how you kind of become that proper whale, you know, getting that A5 Arrogance, getting that A3 Valeria. I mean, we don't even have Valeria, but there's no, I would say I am pretty chuffed. I don't know, I'm pretty happy that we don't have a single game-breaking dupe on this entire account. A1 Broke here is very strong. Actually, maybe let's start talking about Broke here. This is maybe like a little embarrassing on my account. I've never used Broke here. He's very much someone, I might build him today or tomorrow. I just finally did my first clear, spoiler alert, of Nightmare Void Rift live on Twitch last night. It was a marathon. It was amazing. I had so much fun. And the whole time I was like, dang, I wish I had Broke here promoted, but I was like, do I really want to farm promotion mats for 20 or 30 minutes live on stream? But this is probably our best A1 on the whole account. If you guys don't know, I'm not going to show this to everyone, but his A1's amazing. Inflicts freeze on up to 5 enemies around him when the shield from his ultimate is gone. He's already putting out freeze when people hit him. There's a small chance for that. And now there's an AoE freeze when his ultimate expires, basically, when that shield expires. Really good one, but a tank, right? We don't have any game-breaking DPS. One of the game-breaking DPS we do have, who I just pulled a dupe of on Friday, so that was 3 days ago. That was day 98, I believe, or day 97. Was Zealotue. Zealoteue's A1, though, however, is not so special. What's special about her A1, so basically being, when your enemy has 80% health or more, she's going to do this great true damage, this soul siphoning move. However, this brings the threshold lower to 70%, so there's 10% more of their HP you can slap away at them. It pairs really well if you're using like a Virna, and I do have Virna now, that's very cool. However, the most exciting thing about Zealoteue's A1 is you're one step closer to A3, and her A3 is completely broken. She already has one of the longest ults in the game at 35 seconds when you skill it up. This makes it 45 seconds, and we all know how strong she is. Aside from that, you know, there's no Virna A1, there's no Hex A1, there's no Silas A1. You know, we've pulled 4 Cratches. He is the winner, guys. He is who we've pulled the most of. Then it's going to be Regulus and Azor. So I am very, very, very lucky. Very lucky. I will not ever say I wasn't, and I've done a lot of summons, right? Like whale-ish levels of summons. We'll get into that in a second as well. However, it's easy to remember when I pull Virna. I don't know if people remember as fondly or as clearly when I pulled Zealous, or I pulled 3 Azor, maybe people remember the Cratches, but the 3 Regulus, right? I do love Regulus, but I'm just saying, it's all a balance, right? That being said, I think I have a pretty blessed account. I'm quite happy. Let's go into epics really quickly. I will say I've had terrible luck with Lords. One big exception being Mommy Morrigan, and what a pull that was. It was super fun for me. I really like using her. She's much stronger as a Lord than actually as a hero, but she's just a solid AoE DPS in her own right, but nothing on the level of the kings and queens of this game. Looks like Virna's missing some gear. We'll have to attend to that very shortly. However, when it comes to Lords, I've only ever pulled four Lords. I've pulled Ain twice, once from an Ancient Summons and once from a normal Summons. I've pulled Lunaria once, and granted Lunaria is a fusion, Ain is free, right? I pulled Lunaria once from a Sacred Summons or a Legendary Summoning Crystal, and then I of course pulled Morrigan, and that's it. So I do think I've honestly, for how many summons I've done, if you do the math, I've had pretty bad Lord luck. One Legendary Lord is great, but it's only one. Not that I need any, but it'd be pretty nice, and it definitely would have been nice if I pulled more Epic Lords. And I never pulled the Raiden, and we just announced today we were going to get Pyros, but I wish I had a Pyros. Things like that, I do think that is one shortcoming of my account. However, Deimos, I pulled Deimos like 4 or 5 times. I pulled him twice pretty early on, which made it really easy for me to put 4 more Soul Stones into him and get him A5. Deimos is one of the MVPs of my account. I love him. Tariel, Idril now, she is very common. However, I was super lucky because on her banner, which was a 10x alongside Dolores, I believe, or no, that was Dolores and Maul. But it's Tariel alongside, maybe it was Hotsit, I think. Let me know if you guys remember what legendary she was in. I pulled 6 copies, or maybe I had a base copy. I pulled exactly what I needed to A5 her, and that is what allowed me to do 319. I had never built her before because I knew I needed her awakenings. That was one of the luckiest things that happened on the account. Dolores, I've pulled her a ton now. Guys, I know it sucks to hear if you don't have Dolores. She actually is quite common, both from my epic drop rate study and then just anecdotally pulling on my own account and viewers' accounts. But of course, I really like her A5, so I rushed her to A5 with Soul Stones. I think I had pulled 2 copies, and then I put 4 Soul Stones into her, and I probably pulled like 4 more since then, so it definitely breaks my heart every time. Aside from that, Greed, I never pulled Greed. I got the copy they just sent us. I'm very happy they did that. And then I put a Soul Stone into him. I was very lucky to finally max out my Brienne. She's one of my favorite heroes in the game. I've been quite unlucky with Maul. I actually put a Soul Stone into him to make sure he got A3. That's the reason I hadn't brought him to 60 yet, because I didn't have him A3. I've only ever pulled 3 Maul ever, including going very, very hard on his banner. And that kind of gives you a lay of the land. See, I've built out a lot of heroes. I'm pretty happy. Let's just show off a couple builds really quickly. And you know what? We can actually quickly build up Virna because we're going to have to, because I'm going to show you all my gear raid runs. There's a lot of fun stuff coming. This is going to be very thorough, like I said. Let's just show you Zealotue. It's not the craziest build in the world, but you will see the stats are solid, right? Almost 16k attack. a strong interval with 253 attack speed, a 1.7 interval. I don't love it. I wish she was faster. This is more like 350 or 370 attack speed to really get her going quick at like 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds. But, you know, it is what it is. Crit rate's pretty good. Crit damage is okay. It's a fine build for where I'm at. But the most interesting, notable thing here is that I'm getting to the point now that I can get these respectable stats while going out of my way to get the really premium set bonuses. And Infernal Roar is very, very good on her. Here's another one, guys. Here's Hex. I'm not in love with this build either. The attack's a bit low, but it's okay. He is a marksman 10 less deck. Monstrous crit damage I'm very happy with. He is crit capped and some nice attack speed. Not nearly as nice as I would like it. I would love for this to be like 1.1 seconds, even 1.0 if we could get him rapid. But I was able to get him into this Ageless Wrath set, which is going to be like another 60% crit damage, super powerful. So I'm able to finally get these strong, respectable builds while going for the things I'm looking for, right? So here, I'll show you maybe the best gear on my account or the best thing I've put together. I really like this Soulbound Arcana. So you can see here, amazing substats, not amazing rolls, but we'll take it. Here's an amazing piece, and it is an ancient. I have a handful of ancients, not that many compared to how much I've farmed, compared to what I've seen on other accounts, but it is what it is. I think this gives you a good sense. I can give you a very good sense now of just, this is what I do when I go onto someone's account if I'm evaluating them for an account takeover. And guys, if you're interested, I do account takeovers literally every day. I'm doing one the second I finish filming. I have 2 more lined up tonight. It's a huge part of what I do, and I think it's part of the reason I've gotten very good at this game, because I spend a lot of time playing in a lot of different situations on other people's accounts and stuff. But we're talking about my account showcase today, right? So when I go in, I think a great barometer is like sort by attack bonus, and then sort by, you want crit rate and attack speed, and then see what you're working with. So you can see here ooh, did I make mistakes? No, I didn't. So you can see I'm really struggling with my Bangles, right? I only have 2 pieces that I've chosen to keep on this whole account. This one could be quite good. That's an attack bonus main, which is the strongest main in accessories, even as you get into the late game and the end game. And then, you know, you want that crit rate and you want that attack speed. That's kind of how you build DPS in this game. So you can kind of get a sense here. You can see more. Oh, you know why? I'm hiding equipped, obviously. There you go. So you can see these are some of the better pieces on my account. This is a nice piece on Silas. Of course, the gold roll wins the heal effect. Here's a nice piece. You know, no purple rolls, but all excellent substats on my Setrum. I have lots of gear like this. I don't have one. I wish I had one busted piece to show you. I don't have that one busted piece. But there you go. There's a sense. So we'll just throw this on Virna. Actually, Virna doesn't need attack speed, but that is how I would that's how I would evaluate it, right? So here's another way we can do it. We can go by crit rate and crit damage, and now we'll just get the quickest build we can get on our Virna. Of course, we're going to show you Gear Raid 1 using Virna, and we'll have Power of Dominance, so it doesn't need to be this perfect build. We might as well go for an Insight set if we're going to be able to throw in together. Looks like we can't. Does not matter. Here's a pretty solid piece. Some nice flat attack, some nice crit damage, some nice crit rate. There you go. There's our Virna. You can get a sense. I actually do have almost all my heroes geared. This is a good time to say I'm going to show you all 3 Gear Raid runs, and I'm going to explain how far we made it in all of them. I'm going to show you AMR, and I actually am now, at this point, day 100. I guess now it's the start of day 101. I am able to have all my heroes geared, or nearly all the ones that I'm going to use. I tested out before I started filming, and all the runs work on auto at least. So pretty fun. That kind of shows you gear. Let's go through artifacts, and I'll just click through really quickly. Idril's Gaze has been horrible for me getting. I've only pulled 3 ever. So you can see I have 1 that's unpromoted, so there's that one. I have 2 over here, and then 3 more. I've been buying those legendary Essence to upgrade your artifacts from the arena shop. That's a good one we have. I finally got my 2nd Crystal of Violence ever yesterday. We'll talk more about that when we get to the artifact mature raid section. Pretty good. This is my best Nether Messenger 3-star promo. You can see these things aren't that cracked. I should be able to show you, here's a Void Messenger. I pulled finally my 4th one yesterday. I'm quite happy. I love the Void Gazer. I think it's an amazing artifact for a Zealot or an Arrogance, something like that. This is my first max promo ever artifact. I did this yesterday as well, a Soul Drainer. It's something I'm testing out to use in PvE, not PvP content, but PvE on Cerberus. It's on Abomination for when I was running Nightmare Void Rift yesterday. Kind of gives you a nice sense. Is there anything else? I guess I'll show you if everyone's going to want to know about Tier Starlight. This is my best Tier Starlight, 1 promo. I've pulled 3 ever, and I wanted to save 2 copies. So you can see there's an unpromoted copy on Virna, and then here's Comet. And then we'll wrap up this section, guys, of the roster, and we'll go a lot faster through the rest of the stuff. But of course, I think everyone wants to see the heroes and all that good stuff. Comet's definitely my most used hero. I'll just go out and say it. Silas is approaching now that I got him, and especially now that I got him and then Virna. Getting Virna is so freaking good. She's completely broken. But when you're in like the late game, the best part of Virna for a lot of stuff is the bond she gives Silas. and you can't overstate it. It turns his crazy overpowered ultimate, it just doubles it up. All those hits turn into double hitters. It's straight up multiplicative. It's crazy. But I would still say Comet reigns king of my account. He has been that way probably ever since like 2 days after I pulled him. He really changed everything. And then Arrogance. These are the two heroes I use the most. I use them everywhere. To this day, these are going to be my go-tos. But more and more, I'm able to fit more heroes in. If anyone wants to go on Twitch, I publish my whole, unedited Nightmare Void Rift run, and Hex got a lot of play. Silas obviously got end to play. Zila too. I've got a lot of OP S tier legendaries, and I'm aware of that. I'm not pretending that that is not the case. I would like to start getting some awakenings in them quite soon, but for now, there you have it. Now to some pretty quick stuff. Let's talk Tide. I thought it worked out beautifully. I cleared Tide 125 yesterday. You can see now it's the start of day 101, and you see I still have my 3 attempts. We beat 125 yesterday. That lined up so well, and to show you how well it really lined up, if we go to Tide talents, I maxed out my talents yesterday. On day 100, we've perfectly maxed out our talents. I'm just going to tell you guys, you might see peak talents. Those are not coming, or at least not in the version that they originally intended. We might be waiting forever, or at least a really long time for this. I know people, Ray, who's spoken directly to the devs, don't get excited for this. But basically now, Tide, I don't see myself getting much higher than 125. I don't really care. 125 is when I got my second Soul Stone for Volca, so my Volca is A2 now. Doesn't matter. It's like plus 300 attack. I don't care. But it felt like a nice milestone. And I will say, the final strange taste that Tide, mind my language, the strange taste Tide left in my mouth is I tried beating 125. I think I needed like 7.1 million BP, right? I was like at 7.15 million, and we failed. Then I finally got that last talent. I was like, okay, let's do our onslaught, get our last talent. We did it, and I beat it instantaneously. Like literally, the other fight, I got it down to like 0.5%, and we just lost at the end. And then the second I just got that last thing, it went from like being, 0.05 million over to like 0.2 million over. GG. Instantaneous. And I think Tide is really, really mindless and really, really boring. And I really don't like it. I'm kind of done with it now. 125 was a good enough goal. I got a legendary skill crystal. I got my A2 Volca. I'm probably not going to try Tide for at least a month. I really don't care. I want to show you one more thing in the mail. They send you a letter. Max Tide talent points reached. Tough. There you go. No more talent points for you. Moving right along, let's talk about Arena, something else I don't enjoy. You can see I want to get these things out of the way. Arena's Arena. You can see I have 13 Arena permits. This is the most I've ever had. I have no motivation to do Arena anymore. I really do. Until they change something, I think I'm just going to stockpile and then knock out the events when they come. So Duel of Champions or whatever. Shout out to Pink Jesus. I know that's his strategy. I think I'm officially there. I'm so over it. I have a strong account, so getting to Overlord is mindless. It's nothing. As long as I do like one fight instead of defense, I'll rise pretty darn high in Platinum 3, if not all the way to Overlord, and then I can just do a couple maintenance battles every day if I'm ever feeling bored and I want to do it. I don't like it. I really don't like Arena. Let's move on. On to the Void Rift now for something really fun. Again, pretty quick because it's not like I'm going to show you a battle right now, but it took us about 3.5 hours, maybe almost 4 hours, but we did do a full clear of Nightmare Void Rift last night on Twitch, and we will be doing all our streaming on Twitch at least for the next week because YouTube is having major server issues when it comes to YouTube Live. But it's a huge success. I had a lot of fun. I was stronger. My heroes were stronger than I thought. It was much smoother. I mean, 3.5 hours probably sounds like a long amount of time, but a lot of that was because I just had never had to think about in that level of detail some of those stages. It kind of is what it is. But it was pretty smooth. It was a lot of fun. There were a couple really nice challenges along the way, and I'm 100% sure I can beat all of it, even when we have the Lasir boss next week, probably. I feel really good about it. We got our second exclusive mythic ever, and that was, oh my god, it was the Abomination one, which was probably my least favorite exclusive in the whole game. The other one we have is a very strong one, which is the Twin Fiend one. All we need, I guess, is a Twin Fiend. There's Void Rift. I love Void Rift. I think it's really fun. Maybe I'll get sick of it after like 8 more weeks of this, but for now, I thought it was really fresh. I thought it was really fun, especially once they start adding new stages and new levels. And then I'm really excited for Codex to come as well. Now let's talk campaign. I also finished campaign on stream last night, so you can see we beat chapter N917. I'm very happy to put out a guide on this. This is where I put a ton of time. I put over 2 hours, probably about 2 hours, 15 minutes into this, and we did beat it. Definitely, there's 2 phases to the fight. Phase 1, I know it's solid. Like, I could teach anyone how to beat that as long as they have the right heroes. Phase 2, there's a lot of RNG that goes into it. That being said, I know the strat. So if you guys want to see a guide, let me know. I just want to give you a disclaimer now, though. this is a frustrating stage because it is kind of not just a BP check, not just a gear check, but it does feel like a hero check. If I didn't have Silas, and even on top of that, like a bond skill empowered Silas from also having Virna, I don't know, I would have probably found a way, but this would have been maybe days, not hours, right? Trying to crack the case and figure it out. It helps so much in Void Rift Nightmare and like these N917 level pieces of content. I don't even know what's going to happen when Chapter 10 comes. I'm a bit worried because it really feels like it's feeling a little like Eternal Evolution. Like you need this hero to clear this content. All in all, though, this fight was insanely fun. It was insanely fun. As for the rest of stuff, you know, this is all done. You can see there's one thing I haven't done yet. It's just too boring. I waited too long to do these things, and you'll see. Recommended BP is 103,000. I'm at like almost 700,000, so it's just too mindless. I'll just do this probably when I'm taking a poop one day. But everything else is done. We also beat Expert. Expert was, we were overpowered for it. I was overgeared for it, but it still was a challenge because I love these maps. These campaign maps are probably some of the best, if not the best maps in the game. So fun, so much enjoyable problem solving. I'll just say it, campaign is the most fun in the game, especially when you really are trying to punch above your weight. I absolutely love it, and I really think they knocked it out of the park because that's a great way to draw in, you know, new players and really get them hooked. That's how I got hooked, right? Let's go to another fast one, and then we're on to the good stuff. You're actually going to get to see some runs. Let's talk about the faction trials. This is, I'll just admit it now, this is probably my biggest shortcoming, somewhat strategically, for my own sanity, but also somewhat just neglecting it to neglect it, and I was lazy. I have not pushed a single faction trial beyond stage 8. Of course, I am farming the max level stage 8 and basic trial, but since these came out, like I think well over a month ago now, maybe a month and a half ago, I saw no reason to do it. And why is that? Well, let me go to, I'm pretty diligent with my faction trials. Occasionally I miss them, but I have a pretty built up Pantheon, probably a lot higher than a lot of people, because I really almost have never missed it, and I farm pretty efficiently. It's actually slightly more efficient to farm the stages, the non-basic trial and non-esotericist. I say that because these are the ones you can farm basic trial every day, and then you can also get these materials from esotericist faction. Those I push, but aside from that, I have no real interest to push higher because I'm not at level 40 yet. So level 33 on the blues, 34 on the reds, 33 on the greens, and then I only need blue insignias. It is more efficient to just farm the blue insignias than farming purple ones and disassembling them. So that's what I'm choosing to do. I will say, I think I'm making the decision right now. Actually, I will do it. I'll announce to you guys. This is gonna be a focus for me now. The same way, you know, like maybe once you get to Arbiter missions in Raid, then it's like, now let's focus on Faction Wars. I think that's kind of how I feel. I finally beat Nightmare Void Rift. That was like the big, hard endgame thing I wanted to do. Now I think the really hard thing is gonna be Faction Trials. But this is something I've neglected, and I did want to address it. But I am pretty proud of my Pantheon. I think let me know what you guys think. I think I built this thing up quite well. I've really tried to be diligent and stay on top of it. Getting something like an additional 28% rage regen or 16 attack speed, it makes it so much easier. Very often I do a takeovers and I'm like, these guys have the same stats as my guys, why can't I make this comp work as easily? And then I'm like, oh, they've neglected their Pantheon. So don't neglect your Pantheon. Moving on, let's do a run. You might have caught my guild boss yesterday, but I figured let's just do an auto run so you can see it, and I'll just talk you guys through it one more time. I'm very happy. And you know, with Pyros coming, I'm very happy I got this done before he's arriving. So Pyros is coming on Friday. It's Monday right now. And someone in the comments, and was quite respectful about it, is like, okay, so the gist of it was like, okay, so the guide is just have some of the best single target DPS in the entire game. And very strong point. However, as I was saying in the guide, this kind of shows you how hard Nightmare 4 and getting the max level on Nightmare 3 is when you don't have not just the meta heroes in terms of DPS, but the meta kind of support and Lord heroes, right? Without a Pyros, if I had a Pyros, I'd be getting towards, you'll see, you guys are going to see when I get him this weekend, or if I get him on Sunday or Monday, we'll see how long it takes me to rapidly get those shards if I start winning tournaments, Oracle's Trials and stuff. Maybe on Tuesday I'll get him, something like that. But you'll see, I'm going to be already pushing up towards maybe in Nightmare 4 over 30k blood. You're going to see it. I've done a lot of testing on test server, and it makes a colossal difference. All in all, I'm quite happy with what we were able to accomplish. This was, if you go back to the videos, this was the thing I said. I said, I want to get 20k on Nightmare 4. That's what the theme of the grind for Glory is. We did it. You can watch it now. We're actually destroying it right now. We should comfortably get it. Let's just make sure we break the shield real quick. Easy peasy, lemon squeezers. There you have it. I'll just throw out one more tip, because people also ask me this in the comments. They're like, why did you bring Navros instead of bringing like Laurel, right? Navros was our 4th Nightmare unit. there's a huge difference between a 20% multiplicative increase to the attack speed of our 2 Nightmare units, Deimos and Arrogance, or dropping Wrath and with only Wrath, right? And then if it was only without Wrath, it'd only be 10%, right? Or dropping Wrath and then Navros and going 20%, then 35%. So super, super important stuff, very valuable. There might be another way to do it, but Arrogance is such a heavy hitter for me. This was the way to do it. Let's see what we did, and I'll show you the stats really quickly. I'm gonna try, there you go, almost 23K. I'm very happy with that. That might be our new record. We'll have to see right now. Let's see what they tell us. No, so I guess I might have just beat it yesterday. There you go, Arrogance, our number 2 hitter. You can see actually we did worse than yesterday because Zeal 2's not wearing her optimal gear because I wanted to make sure every run was gonna work. So I did test that all beforehand. So without further ado, let's do some runs. What do you say? We'll start off with Gear Raid 1. I hope that janky build I just threw on Virna is enough, and we'll do a check-in. So you might have seen at the sheet in the beginning, the only 21 I was able to get was 221. In my own defense, as part of my own a planning issue, I thought I'd be able to do 121 and 321, or at least attempt it last night, but boy, N917 and then Nightmare Votive took a tremendous amount of time, and then it was like 6 a.m. and I had to go to bed. So basically they stay at 120 and 320. I will try a big push, but for now, let's just see what we've accomplished. I'll run the auto and I'll explain a few things. Maybe you guys you'll notice something and you can ask me some questions. But a couple things are different because I have tuned this run. This is not the run I actually beat it with. That run I used Cerberus for some extra DPS, and Cerberus is amazing in this fight. So if you have him, do not sleep on him just because he's like part chaotic or he seems kind of weird to use. Both those things are true, but he is amazing. And Cerberus might be becoming my favorite hero in the whole game. Really, I really love him. There you go. One thing I've added to speed this run up, and hopefully it is a big success here, is going to be Arrogance in the middle. He's not there for any real damage except for I know when his ult triggers, which triggers all the time, he's in a Soulbound Arcana set, so he's going to build up tons and tons of damage by the time the boss comes down, that we make sure we get a pretty quick kill on the boss. It kind of removes some of the RNG that can happen if just like one slight timing gets messed up because someone missed a crit somewhere and maybe Lasir was slightly late, or one more person died faster, so Lasir wasn't able to get his ult up quicker. Because I did have a run this morning when I tried for the first time where it was just going on indefinitely because there was one guy left. He was just out of the range of Virna and Comet, or they were just kind of tickling him, and the boss just kept healing and healing and healing, and we were just stuck at 57 forever. So that's why I brought Arrogance. The other things are kind of basic. You can see for this speeder one I brought Nasandai. When I did originally I used Ezrein, and I really don't have optimal healers for this at all for this fight, and I think maybe this is what's going to hold us back and keep us from doing 121. I don't have Eloin, I don't have Hollow. Those heroes are really incredible. And yeah, again, not having those heroes for Guild Boss definitely hurts me. So there you go, easy peasy. So great job by Silas, great job by Arrogance. I'll show you the stats. Obviously, I didn't use Silas in my original run either. I think you can use him. I think some people do, but I'm just using him to really just saving him for the end. But yeah, not having those super meta. Ooh, look at that. We got a little White Tower Scholar. Not using those super meta rage regen healers. It hurts you, and I think people take it for granted when they have them, but as someone that, like I said, I do takeovers all the time, and lots of people have them, and then I get to use them, it's like, wow. It's like playing on easy mode. Not to like say you guys are playing on easy mode, but God. Anyway, let's look at those stats, and let's see. My Comet's nice. I love Comet. In Virna's defense, my Comet's fully skilled. Virna's not there yet. And you can see Arrogance, Silas not doing much. We're really just saving them for the end. And Morrigan, she got placed in a very limited way. One thing I'll point out, maybe you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. I think when I'm going to start experimenting with 121, I might bring Aeon instead of Morrigan. And I know that's going to hurt the DPS, and this might not be a good idea. It's going to hurt the DPS a bit on Virna and Lasir, but we're going to get a lot more vulnerability opportunities and stuff like that. I don't know. It's something I have to think about. Granted, Morgan doesn't touch the floor much. She's really there just for her incredible, and it is an incredible Legendary Lord bonus. So there you have it. Let's see what kind of piece we got for our trouble. A very high potential piece. I'll be sure to lock that if the game unfreezes. But of course the game's frozen, and what a good microcosm of what it's been like for me for 100+ days, because this game freezes more than any game I've ever played in my life. Very short freezes, but it freezes constantly. On to Gear Raid 2. This is part of the reason this video is probably going to go up a little late, and that's because I had to redo this fight, and I'll go on a little rant right now. And I'll give you guys a little behind the scenes that you don't know yet. I haven't heard anyone mention it. Very few of us know. But obviously we got a reskin on Gear Raid 2. You're about to see in a second. If you haven't farmed Gear Raid 3 in the past week, we got a reskin on Gear Raid 3. And then you might be thinking, what about Gear Raid 1? We are getting a reskin on Gear Raid 1. That's actually probably the coolest looking one I've seen. It's already live on test server. I really like it. That being said, I hate the one in Gear 8.3, but this one, it's the same thing. These running guys, right? They're the same as the roly-polioles, if you remember them. However, I have probably spent, and I'm not exaggerating, minimum 30 hours on 219 plus, between 219 and 221, right? Between my own account and then tons and tons of takeovers. I've probably done at least 25 takeovers for Gear 8.2 through all levels of difficulty. And I, to a frame, got used to all the animations and knowing what's going on with the roly-polies. And all of a sudden, all that work and that obsession and that grinding, I have to start over. I'm just getting the hang of it now, but it really, a takeover I did for someone the other day, and I didn't charge him for this time at all. I only charged him for the time that it should have taken if they were still roly-polioles. I took an extra 2 hours, just because when you're just clearing something by the absolute skin of your teeth, those little milliseconds you might be off are the difference. If you're not over-geared, and we certainly weren't, we were a bit under-geared, it's dicey. So I kind of hate that they did this. They could have made it a different kind of roly thing, but the animation changed. The hitboxes, I believe, are slightly different, and it drives me bananas. But here you go. Takes a second to line it up, but once we drop our Arrogance, now we trigger our Dolores. Frop. Should be pretty good. There is our second Gear AW, and you got to see our only 21 clear. If you need a guide, I have a guide on this. I'm probably, also another thing, I'm gonna have to redo all my guides probably now, because everything's getting a re-gear, and people are reskin, and everyone's gonna be confused. So that's not great. Moving right along, let's go to Gear 8.3. This is also something that after the update with the reskins, I did have to reset up, and I will just warn you right now, it's very likely we are gonna, I checked the fight already, it is a pretty smooth clear. However, Tariel's not wearing the gear I used, her optimal gear, because we put that for our guild boss heroes, so 1 or 2 people might squeak through, but you'll see it's a pretty smooth run, and I'll explain the little trick I do at the end with Silas and Tariel to make it extra smooth. Actually, I think the way this run's going to go down, Nyx is in very, very janky gear. Nyx is going to be on the left over here, being our AoE damage. She's going to be the last one, because everyone will have cleared the middle and the right so quickly. But look at that. Arrogance I did not use for the real run, but I do use him for this, because we can just kill the boss in the middle with our great Silas and our great Tariel. Pretty handily, right? And you might be wondering, why do I leave Arrogance out? No one's ever going to make it low enough that I could despawn him and respawn him right here. I might as well leave him here and just have that ult triggering for the occasional triggers to help the passive of Tariel, right? So as Tariel shoots here, if she's probably going to kill these guys too quick, we'll see, but we could get a trigger from Arrogance. Oh, there you go, trigger from Arrogance, and there's a big hit, right? So it works out quite well. And now the fight's in complete control. I'll explain the little trick right now because it's about to happen. So this guy comes out, we pick up Laurel, we instantly trigger Idril. I keep saying Tariel, Idril. And now we can instantly play Silas. Silas has more than enough time to load up. So when these guys in the top right, the pesky guys come, we can trigger the ult. Him and Tariel can delete them really quickly. There you go. Now Tariel's gonna help out Nyx. And like I said, Nyx is the one on cleanup crew. When I have the right gear on Nyx and the right gear on Tariel, the second these guys come out, everything lines up and it instantly ends because Tariel or Idril can focus over here. Her and Silas take care of it. Probably saves me up 5 seconds, 10 seconds, which over the course of 1,000 runs, which is what I'll do at least probably for a tournament, makes a difference. So what do we get? Something that's going straight in the trash bin. There are the gear raids, guys, and we're getting towards the very end. We're just going to talk about Artifact Material Raid and then GvG. So Artifact Material Raid. This one's going to be super quick. I will just quickly show you. This is not exactly the team because I've moved some fodder around, but it is a 3-man team. We're only using Arrogance, Wrath. Wrath I put just in a speedy enough build that he gets his ult up so he can tank the boss, the formerly known as Salazar boss, now like the big ugly monster boss. And then Silas can nuke him down along with Arrogance. And Falcia, you might be thinking she's there for damage. She is literally just there because she's not at max level and I'm farming up XP. But Falcia was at level 50 and I farmed so much Artifact Material Raid that even I'm getting 52 XP at a time. We did already get her up 4 levels. So pretty cool. She's in like some random gear. It does make the run faster by about half a second, which is something, I guess, better than nothing. So I'll show you this one really quick. It's quite speedy. And then, yeah, please let me know if you have any questions about this. I do think this is the fastest general strat. It doesn't have to be Silas over there. If you have a good Arrogance or Sela 2, you could just put them and then put Dolores in Silas's spot. I think Nocturne could do a really good job. I think Hex could do a really good job. There you go. Falcia doesn't even get to use her ult, so she really doesn't do anything. I'll show you the stats. I realized I forgot to show you the stats for Gear 8 2 and 3, but the stats aren't even really an accurate representation when Power Dominance is on and all the timings are a bit different. This is just to show you like what my kind of day in the life is, what my auto runs look like. But you can see she got a little damage out there, and she is going to be tremendous for this fight if ever I need to use her, if they add higher stages or something, which I think would be really fun. If this went up to 21, if they added 3 more stages, that'd be a lot of fun to me. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. I forgot to show you. Oh no, I did. I just showed you. Let's wrap this thing up and let's finish up with GvG. So that's why I tried to get, I know you guys, it bothers you with those red dots. Ooh, let me quickly say, like I said, I did 370 runs to make sure I won this. So I'm sorry to you, Vargas. He was up, I was at like 56,000 like this guy. And then I just let it run overnight to make sure I won. And this is something I can just do like a little aside about. I keep getting placed. Maybe it's because I'm putting up big numbers. I think there must be some filtering going that. So they put heavy hitter point total people together, but look how hard my group is, man. I was lucky enough to win it, but look at this. Everyone's putting up a pretty solid number, at least everyone in like the top 5. Those are big numbers, right? And I think it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think you perform really well, then they put you in a high for performers group, then you perform well again, or you try to, and then you just stay there forever unless you want to tank a couple tournaments. That's the sense I'm getting, but we'll definitely take those eight things. Oh boy, artifact material raid, kind of the bane of my existence the past few days. Let's wrap this thing up. Actually, like I said, I tried to get rid of the red dots. I know you guys don't like them. However, guild stuff I always do at the end of the day, so you'll always see a dot there. We did just do the one battle together, granted. So Guild War 2.0, I'm not going to show you it. There will be a video coming out on that either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm quite excited to share. I've already tested it out on the Forerunner server with Arcturus and the Dragon Slayers guys. It's a lot more fun. It's really, really cool. I did want to just show my Demon Soldiers, and I think this is a good way people can always just check their progress. It kind of shows how much you've been farming. So you can see I've got a level 2 Fallen Templar here. This guy, I'm really trying to get one more copy of to get him level 3. You can see a level 2 Hound, level 3 Stitch Carrion, level 2 So I've got a lot more to do, right? I'm just doing what I can for now. A couple level 3s, couple level 4s, and then of course the blue guys you get a few more copies of. But I don't think I only have one level 5, right? I think this is my only level 5 Demon Soldier. So it kind of is what it is. I'm excited to see what everyone's going to think of 2.0. And there you have it. So all in all, 100 days into this account, about 100 days and a week into the game, because I did play for a week before I started making content and started with this account. I love this game, and I think it's heading in a great direction. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you want to share your progress with your account, please do. I'd love to read it. I read every comment. I respond to every comment. My name's been Fastidious. Like it if you want to like it. Comment, like I said. Share it with your mother. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.